Dr. Payal Tadvi, a bright, young, and dedicated medical student, the first woman from her community to have studied medicine. Her dream was to help the others, to serve the poor, and on the fateful morning of 22nd May 2019, she was found dead in her hostel room. Her story is all too common, a story of humiliation, exclusion, and resentment meted out to her by the merciless caste system, a system that seeks to reinforce the very meaning of the word Dalit, a system that stands to break them in every possible way. The caste system in India is one of the world's longest surviving social hierarchies. For those vehemently proclaiming that it no longer exists, it may seem to be a mere creation of identities, but for those at the bottom, this identity translates into very real consequences. It may seem quite ironic how educational institutions responsible for molding citizens of the future continue to propagate and normalize this age old bias, but it would be clearer with a more nuanced understanding of how caste works. The ones belonging to the lower strata are ostracized from every part of the society, with the upper caste doing everything in their power to sustain their positions. They have close to no opportunities to climb up the social ladder, and through hegemonic mechanisms wielded by the upper caste, they are made to believe that this is their fate. When the constitution was formulated, a reservation system was implemented to provide adequate representation in public sector education and employment for those belonging to disadvantaged and marginalized communities. Having faced caste discrimination himself, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar believed that only through education can one remove himself from the shackles of caste. Today, the root cause for caste-based exclusion in campuses is this very reservation system. The dominant discourse that revolves around reservations is that it is a way by which candidates from the general category, who may be more deserving of the seats from academic and economic standpoints, are stripped of their opportunity to enter reputed colleges in the country. With the cut-offs increasing every year, the collective frustration is directed solely at this system, all the while forgetting about reservations through the management quota. This ultimately manifests into SC, ST, and OBC students being subjected to mental and physical abuse by such students, and complete apathy and indifference by the teachers. Dalit students are constantly looked down upon by their peers. Professors fail to grade their papers in an unbiased manner. No institutional support is provided to them. In many cases, a lack of fluency in English adds to their woes. The discrimination is always subtle, ranging from avoidance, discouragement, and differential treatment, and therefore difficult to prove. The segregation extends to even housing, where Dalit students are required to reside in separate quarters. The psychological costs are tremendous, with students internalizing the narrative that they have been subjected to. In a few colleges, professors encourage those failing the first two semesters to drop out. With no support whatsoever, an overwhelming majority of those dropping out belong to the SC/ST communities. The misconception that such students are academically incapable is consequently rendered true, not because of any inherent inability, but because of a system that stands to prevent them from succeeding. Education is a gate to their dreams and aspirations. It opens them up to possibilities and ultimately the path to social mobility. Discrimination is just a way by which this gate is sealed shut.
With draconian measures in place, those choosing to fight are left to fight a lonely battle. Measures include ideological state apparatuses, with Hindutva forces operating within and outside the campus branding them as anti-nationals, and repressive state apparatuses, with the university board cancelling their admissions to the police arresting them. With their identities threatening their very existence, some may choose to take the extreme step. This is precisely what happened to Rohit Vemula. Vemila was a brilliant student who dreamt of studying astronomy. Instead of acknowledging his brilliance, the University of Hyderabad chose to revoke his fellowship and suspend him after allegations that he was partaking in anti-national activities. In the days that followed his death, politicians resorted to playing the blame game while the university denied all accountability. Many claimed that it was academic pressure. Several others stated that bringing caste into this is wrong. But how can caste be ignored? As many as 12 such students have committed suicide due to the rampant caste prejudices that exist within the university. And this issue isn't particular to the University of Hyderabad. It happens in universities across India, especially within the IITs and AIIMS. In June 2015, IIT Roorkee dismissed 73 students based on poor performance, 75% of which were SC/ST students. Many of these colleges lack a functional grievance cell, and even if they have one, it fails to take constructive action. According to a report, only 155 out of 800 universities have cooperated with the UGC to establish committees for looking into the problems of oppressed students. Moreover, there are many cases that are never reported, either due to social pressures or under the guise of preserving the university name. Utter callousness on the part of higher authorities and the legal machinery exacerbates their helplessness. The victim is blamed and gaslighted, while the ones accused roam free. The Maharashtra Medical Council has now restored the medical licenses of those accused of killing Payal, and the court has given them the permission to continue with their studies. With discrimination in colleges being just a derivative of the continued structural inequality caused by the caste system, the issue cannot be solved overnight. This, however, is no excuse for delaying social justice. Universities must establish concrete measures to ensure the UGC regulations for promotion of equity in higher educational institutions are followed. Functional complaint cells, strict disciplinary rules, support centers, and an empathetic faculty are the need of the hour. For students, introspection is the first step towards acknowledging their privilege and developing empathy for those who need their help. With intolerance and hate crimes increasing each day, positive change remains to be seen. It has been close to 70 years since the caste system has legally been abolished. However, the fight for justice, equality, education for the most basic rights still prevail. And sadly, the day when the words of our national pledge of all Indians being our brothers and sisters finally reverberates with truth seem far, far away.